Welcome to Daddy Blogger TV. I'm here live on the Google Hangout from Vancouver, BC, Canada, and I'm here with Jacob. Jacob's out in Toronto, and he's the founder of the Edamame. You can see the bag here. We just got this in the mail, actually. It's from the MacKellar Farms, and Jacob's a fourth-generation farmer out of Ontario, and just recently they've produced some Canadian-grown, 100% natural, non-GMO edamame. So we're going to be hearing about that and also about the history of the farm. So Jacob, how are you doing over there in Ontario today?
Oh, things are pretty good. It's a little wet outside, so we're not too busy on the farm, but we're doing pretty well.
Yeah, well, join the club. I'm in Vancouver, so it's wet here as well. So first of all, it's good to connect here on the Hangout, and I look forward to learning a little bit about yourself and about the farm and about the edamame. So maybe you can share a little bit about yourself first for the viewers watching now.
Perfect. So I'm a 26-year-old farmer. We farm in southwestern Ontario. We're about an hour west of the city of London, and we farm about 3,000 acres as a family farm. And it's myself, my brother, my dad, and mother, and we all farm together to grow a number of different crops. And edamame is the latest and greatest.
Awesome, and maybe you can share with us a little bit about the history of the actual farm itself.
For sure. So back in the mid-1800s, our ancestors originally came from Scotland. This whole area was actually just complete forest. And when they moved to the specific farm that we're on now, there was actually only 10 acres of cleared land and a log cabin. So from that, all the land is now cleared and opened, and all our equipment is mechanical. Over the years, we've traditionally just grown regular commodity crops like corn, wheat, barley, oats, soybeans, and just recently we're starting into the growing edamame with a focus more on consumers instead of just growing what's easy as a commodity.
Yeah, it makes sense. And for me, I'm a huge fan of edamame because I actually lived in Japan. I was there as an English teacher, so that's when I really got into the whole edamame. Even here in Canada, people love it. You know, when they go to Japanese restaurants, even at home. So for those of you people who don't know much about edamame, you maybe can share a little bit about what it is.
Yeah, so edamame is essentially a vegetable soybean. Traditional soybean is essentially a grain, and it's dry, and it's harvested and processed and broken down for either animal feeds or oils, where edamame is just the whole pod, and it's harvested as a vegetable and not dried down as a grain. Then it's flash frozen and can be consumed all year. So the main difference is that edamame is the vegetable version of soy. The other difference is that the varieties for edamame are extremely unique. We select for varieties that have a huge seed size and good flavor. So if you harvested a regular soybean as a vegetable, it really wouldn't taste like edamame.
Yeah, fair enough. And what are some of the benefits of people eating edamame?
You know, that's a great question. There's a lot of benefits. The one thing is that it's an addictive snack, and it's good for you. So instead of just munching on chips or chocolate bars, you can have edamame. It's just as fulfilling and addictive, but it's not quite as bad. So the main things are high fiber, high iron, and it's a complete protein profile for a vegetable. We typically don't get in too much about the nutritional value of edamame because everyone that's eating it already knows it's good for them. Mm. So we really focus on producing a better bean and promoting locally grown, Canadian-grown edamame.
Mm. And maybe you can go into more about how that is produced here locally in Canada.
Okay, so we grow about 300 acres of edamame. We're really the only producers. Here on our farm, we plant in May and June and harvest in August and September. Throughout the year, there is quite a bit of care and management and a lot of experimenting. Since this is an entirely new crop for Ontario and Canada, there's no manual to say how to grow it, what seed to grow, how to plant it or harvest. So we just do a lot of experimenting all the time to get a system together that works to have a good product at the end of the day.
And where can people actually buy a package of the edamame?
Great question. We're in about 350 all-natural health food stores across Canada. So that's independent health food stores, some chain stores like Whole Foods. You can go to our website at the locations tab. Our website's MacKellarFarms.ca, and there's an extremely easy Google Maps search where you can find the closest store to you. So it should be quite easy to find.
Awesome. Yeah, and you can see it's a nice, a well-branded package on there as well. So yeah, highly recommend it. I've been munching on them, and our daughter's been munching on them, and we love it.
Perfect. And when you're talking about the packaging, on the front of the pack we put "Grown in Canada" in big red letters, because as you know, most edamame consumed in Canada right now is imported from China. Mm-hmm. That's really our main thing, is offering a local Canadian source that's safe. Some people have concerns about food products coming from China, mm-hmm. and so that's kind of why we've started to grow here in Canada with the edamame.
Yeah, and just ironically, like we actually have one of those other packages on there, and it is most likely the product of China. You can look on there.
But it's hard to find in small letters on the back.
Yeah. So, what would be the major differences between the two, Jacob?
Our edamame typically looks the same, and the size would be the same. But the main difference would be in the taste. Our edamame is typically tastier than what's imported from China, and people feel a lot better about eating it. They know that it's grown here in Canada on a family farm instead of exported from a large processor in China.
Yeah, definitely want to support Canadian-grown, natural, and non-GMO. So well done with you and your family, and I wish you all the best in spreading the word.
Perfect. Yeah, appreciate the opportunity, Ricky, and hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, we definitely will. Thanks so much for sending it to us, and I look forward to connecting again soon, Jacob.
Thanks.
So thanks again for tuning into this Daddy Blogger interview with Jacob MacKellar, one of the farmers at the MacKellar Farms out of Ontario. And yeah, make sure you grab one of the bags of the edamame at your local health food store.